Alright, the next tool that I want to show you is the tools to be found here. So we start with the eraser tool. Looks like this. If I hold down, you also see scissors tool and knife. Let's start with the eraser tool. Now notice as I'm coming in here that it's actually pretty large. If I use the brackets on my keyboard, so open and close brackets, if I go left bracket, it makes it smaller, right bracket makes it bigger. So I'm going to adjust that. So if I have any object selected and then I click on the eraser tool, I can come in and erase parts of the object. Now notice when I do that with a closed shape, it keeps the shape and you see the outline adjusting around the portion that you've erased. So I can come in and erase out an area and it adjusts based on that. So the same thing happens with the blob tool. I can erase part of this, make sure it's selected, and if I erase straight across it turns it into two shapes. If I erase in the middle it creates an opening in the shape. This also works on paths, so the drawings that I did with the paintbrush tool, I can now come in with the eraser tool and erase part, and it turns it into two separate paths. And my lines drawn with the pencil tool, same thing, I can come in and erase, and it chops it into different paths. And I can now adjust these individually. I'm going to Command Z to undo. And next I will show you the scissors tool. The scissors tool I can use to chop portions of paths or shapes. So if I take the scissors tool and I come to this path, I just click once on the path to cut it. With a closed shape, use the scissors tool on the path to create a cut. And now I see when I come in with my selection tool that this is actually a separate piece that I can pull away. And do Command Z to undo. So notice that the scissors tool works on both paths and closed shapes. The knife tool only works on closed shapes. If I try to use it on a path, nothing will happen. So I come to the shape, take my knife tool, start outside of the object, drag across it, and make a cut line. Now when I come back, I have two separate objects. So the knife tool is a little better to use for closed shapes because it actually creates two separate shapes that are closed off. You notice when I did the same thing with the scissors tool on a closed shape, I did it by clicking on the line. I now have a cut, but notice when I drag it away and I put the outline around it, that the outline isn't closed around the whole shape. Whereas if I use the knife tool, it splits it so that both shapes are complete. So that's the eraser tool, the scissors tool, and the knife tool. I don't use them often, but they can be helpful.